know what's been going on in Philadelphia this year, but the city of brotherly love is not being very brotherly or lovey this year between Bryce Harper and basically everyone in Phillies management, it feels like. This is something that I have really never seen in my entire life. I don't understand what the Phillies think they're doing consistently at this point. I guess it's only happened twice, but it's happened twice in the last 6 months or so, and it's happening with not just superstar, future first ballot Hall of Famer Bryce Harper. This makes absolutely no sense. The Phillies just keep making Bryce Harper mad, and it feels like they're doing it on purpose. Now, Bryce Harper is not a guy that really needs to be pushed. From everything that I've seen throughout his career, yeah, he likes the big moment, and yeah, he likes being the villain every once in a while, but I don't think that Bryce Harper is a guy that's going to get more motivated when his general manager is saying that he's not an elite player anymore. I mean, just saying that is one of the craziest things you can possibly say about a guy like Bryce Harper, and it's kind of strained their relationship. It's been reported throughout the season. I just don't understand what good could have possibly come out of this comment from Dave Dombrowski. And this isn't the only time that this has happened. Again, the reason why I'm bringing this up right now is because the Phillies just did essentially the same thing again to Bryce Harper with Don Mattingly, the manager, this time doing it. Don Mattingly's entire job as a manager, for the most part, is to manage his players and make sure they're happy. And if you're trying to manage and make sure one player is happy, I feel like that player should be Bryce Harper, considering he's your superstar player. After this season, Bryce Harper has another 5 years under contract where he makes on average $25.3 million per season. So that's another $125 million that you have to pay to this player. So I don't understand why we're acting like this guy's not good anymore when he still is an elite baseball player. This video is sponsored by Vuori. Vuori offers performance apparel that is designed for movement but built for life. And basically what that means is it's athletic clothes that's super comfortable and looks really nice, and you can wear it whenever you want. I'm wearing their Magnitude Hat 2.0 and their Strato Tech Tee, and let me just tell you, this stuff is comfortable. It fits super well, it's soft, and it's super lightweight, so if you're doing something like running or working out at the gym, this is perfect. It feels so comfortable. I'm also wearing their core shorts as well, and much like the shirt, these are soft, they're comfortable, they're stretchy, and they're just super lightweight. I can't put into words how light this clothing feels. It feels great. I also have the Strato Tech hoodie, and it's the same material as the t-shirt. It's that stretchy, comfortable, lightweight material that just feels super nice whether you're going on a run when it's a little bit cold out or just editing a video at home. Who knows? Whatever you're doing, it feels perfect for that. And again, I think the clothes looks really nice. And by the way, first-time Vuori purchasers are going to get 20% off their order if they sign up for emails. So go online to vuoriclothing.com and go and pick up a few items. Again, I can't recommend the product enough. Thank you to Vuori for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to talking about baseball. Dombrowski said that in 2025, Bryce Harper was still very good, but it wasn't one of Harper's elite seasons, and he doesn't know if he's going to go back to being that player. And he said the same thing about Freddie Freeman as well, which also made no sense. And this video is about Bryce Harper, but Freddie Freeman is batting .302 with 15 home runs, a .380 on base percentage, .868 OPS, and a 3.2 WAR. So saying that he wasn't elite, that's an insane thing to say when he continues to be elite year after year. Bryce Harper has an .850 OPS this year. He has 22 home runs, a 2 WAR, which isn't his best by any means, but he's still getting on base at a .360 clip. And yes, he has gotten a little bit worse over the last couple of seasons, but saying that he's not an elite player anymore is ridiculous. He still is. Is he gonna win another MVP at any point in his career? Maybe not, because he might not have another 615 slugging or a 650 slugging like he had in 2015 when he had one of the greatest seasons of all time. But does that mean that you should go out and say that your franchise player isn't an elite player anymore? Absolutely not. And Bryce Harper also agreed that that's just not the correct way to go about this. He responded to those comments by saying that they caught him off guard, they were kind of wild, and that the Phillies usually seem to handle those conversations behind closed doors. So I don't know why Dombrowski said it to the media that he doesn't know if Bryce is going to be elite anymore. This was kind of the first time that there was any real tension between Bryce Harper and the Phillies front office. Bryce Harper had been on record saying that he thought that Dombrowski was a great GM. And even his former managers like Joe Girardi and Rob Thompson, Harper was always on their sides, and he never had any real problem whatsoever. He did say that he wished that the Phillies would be a little bit more aggressive in certain moments in free agency because winning a World Series is really, really difficult, and if you're not being aggressive, you're going to fall behind because there are teams like the Dodgers that get better every single year. So if you're not continuing to get better, you might fall behind, but that's not a shot at Dombrowski whatsoever. That's just saying, as the leader of the team, and by the way, he is the leader of the team, he is the face of their franchise, he kind of speaks for what the fan base is gonna want, which is more talent. So he's kind of just echoing what the fans are saying. He wants to win, the fans want to win, the front office, manager, and GM should all want to win as well. So I don't understand why this sentiment isn't aligned. They should be happy that the face of their franchise expects winning. That's what a good face of your franchise would do. Push the front office to be a better team. I mean, even Aaron Judge has done this with general manager Brian Cashman on the New York Yankees. He has talked about publicly where the Yankees have problems and how they should go out and fix them. And Brian Cashman hasn't called out Aaron Judge and said, well, you're not even a good player anymore. That's not what Dombrowski said, obviously, but it's kind of along the lines of what is being said. It's just crazy to think about. Could you imagine if Trout said, hey, Angels, you guys should probably try to win a little bit. And the Angels GM was like, well, you keep getting hurt, and we don't know if you're that good anymore because you're not 23. You're actually getting a little bit older, and we're just going to continue to suck every year, and we're never going to trade you. Like, I don't think that the Angels would ever say that. Even though they're a way more pathetic organization than the Philadelphia Phillies, I just don't think that the Angels would say anything like that. So again, I can't believe that Dave Dombrowski said that to Bryce Harper. Anyway, that is where the problems started between Dombrowski and Bryce Harper. And in the middle of this year, it was reported that there hadn't really been a huge mending of the relationship between Bryce Harper and Dombrowski. It maybe got a little bit better, but it was definitely not a full fix because Bryce Harper was just upset. Bryce Harper is a guy that gets upset very easily. Bryce Harper's been ejected 21 times in his career, which leads active players, so if you get on his bad side, he's gonna blow up on you every once in a while. So the general manager intentionally getting on his bad side just feels like the weirdest decision that he could have possibly made. Now, I don't think that Bryce Harper necessarily thinks that Dombrowski's a bad general manager or anything like that, but a couple of days ago on July 29th, Bryce Harper said that we need some help. He basically said the trade deadline is coming. We just lost again. They just got swept by the Miami Marlins, even though that came the day after Harper said this. Whatever, that's not the point. The point is, they just got swept by a team that lost 12 in a row. So Bryce Harper is correct. They do need some help. They need some help on offense. They need some help in the bullpen. I mean, look at the stats of the Phillies lineup. They have guy after guy after guy being a below league average hitter. And it's not all bad players. Like Trey Turner's in here. Do I think he's a below league average player? No, but he has been this year. And you know why? He's probably pressing because his teammates are not as good as they were in the past. Really, the only two very good players on this team this year are Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, at least offensively. There are some other decent guys like JT Realmuto or Bryson Stott, but like outside of that, no one's really been good offensively. So Bryce Harper saying that this offense needs some help, it's obviously true. Again, they just got swept by a team that had lost 12 in a row. Bryce Harper wasn't saying anyone specifically. It's not like he was saying Justin Crawford's a rookie and we could improve center field. He wasn't saying anything like that. All he said was that the team could use some help. And I'm sure everyone in that clubhouse felt the same way. I mean, no one was sitting there like, no, we can do it. If you listen to any former MLB player talk about the trade deadline, they all wanted help at some point. The baseball season is exhausting. Getting a new player is a burst of energy. It can get guys off of their feet for a little bit and give them a little bit of time to rest, and it can make teams better. Of course, you want some help. Every team in baseball wants some help. So I can't believe what Don Mattingly said next. I do want to preface this by saying Don Mattingly is not even the true manager here. Rob Thompson was fired mid-season, so Don Mattingly is just an interim manager. He doesn't even have a real managerial job. So risking your career by saying something as egregious as he said, in my opinion, is really a choice. Like, it's an insane choice that he made. I'm gonna read the exact quote before I give my opinion, because I want to read the whole quote. I just think that that's the best way to do this, because I don't want you to think I'm exaggerating. I'm just gonna read the entire quote, start to finish. I sense that Bryce is thinking about it. I don't really sense that anyone else is thinking about it, honestly. I mean, you've been through this. Guys want to be a GM for what you need without a real understanding of where the organization is, exactly where this thing goes, not only this year, but moving forward. Players like being GMs and making calls and spending other people's money. I'll just let it go at that. I mean, Dave has been doing this a while. He's never really backed away from trying to get guys. We're trying to get better. We're trying to get better at the deadline. What an asinine quote. I mean, seriously, it's just an insane quote. I understand the sentiment to an extent. If this was a player that wasn't Bryce Harper saying this, I could understand where the frustration comes from. But again, I think you would only have the conversation with the player in the clubhouse. I don't think that a comment like this needs to go out to the media whatsoever. And right after Mattingly said this, the Phillies lost the final game to the Marlins, like I mentioned, but I didn't mention that they were up 6-0 in that game and they ended up losing it. I mean, yeah, it's not Bryce Harper's fault. He wasn't the relievers that were blowing that game. It was the bullpen that Bryce is saying needs a little bit of help, and Bryce didn't even go as far to say that. Mattingly is correct. Dave Dombrowski has been in baseball for a very long time, and he's always been very good at the trade deadline. He's gotten guys that have helped contribute to World Series rosters. He's always been aggressive. He doesn't really care about prospect capital. He wants to win now. But saying that Bryce Harper doesn't know what organizations are doing, and he doesn't know that organizations have to think about next year and the year after that and their future and not just 2026. What are you talking about? Bryce Harper has been in Major League Baseball for like 13 or 14 years. He knows what Major League Baseball is about. He's been on losing teams. He's been on teams that have been in the World Series. He knows what goes on in Major League Baseball, and he's here for the next 5 years. He knows and wants the team to be good for the next 5 years. He's not saying put all your chips in and try to only be good this year, obviously. I can't believe that Don Mattingly would say this. And to say that Bryce Harper is trying to spend other people's money? What are you talking about? Why are you defending the owner this aggressively? It's not your money that Bryce Harper's trying to spend. If anything, it's the owner's. And if the owner wants to spend more money, great. And the owner hasn't made any comments about Bryce Harper like the GM and now the manager have. So it feels like you're more upset with Harper for whatever reason. Don Mattingly is a guy that's been in Major League Baseball almost his entire life. He was a great player. He's been coaching forever. So it's just weird that he didn't have the feel to not say this to the media. And it's weird that this is the second time that this has happened with one of the greatest players in the game. And he is the face of the franchise saying what he thinks should be happening in the franchise. You shouldn't be shooting him down. You should be listening. Your ears should be perking up, and you should be excited that he's saying what should be happening to your team. Because not all faces of the franchise care like Bryce does. And I just can't believe that the Phillies keep doing this. It's crazy to me. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.